of the gentleman of Rio and Medio. Now, eighth paragraph, children. I sent a messenger up to the mountains for Don Anselmo. It took a week to arrange another meeting. When he arrived, he repeated his previous preliminary performance. He wore the same faded cut away, carried the same stick, and was accompanied by the boy again. He shook hands all round, sat down with the boy behind his chair, and talked about weather. Finally, I broached the subject. Don Anselmo, about the ranch you sold to these people. They are good people and want to be your good neighbors always. When you sold to them, you signed a document, a deed, and in that deed, you agreed to several things. One thing was that they were to have the complete possession of the property. Now, Don Anselmo, it seems that every day the children of the village overrun the orchard and spend most of their time there. We would like to know if, as the most respected man in the village, could not stop them from doing so in order that these people might enjoy their new home more in peace. Don Anselmo stood up. We have all learned to love these Americans, he said, because they are good people and good neighbors. I sold them my property because I knew they were good people, but I did not sell them the trees in the orchard. So now, the author, what he says, let us see. So when the Americans came to the office once again to give complaint regarding the children of Rio and Medio. So what was the complaint? The complaint of the Americans was that the children of Rio and Medio were overrunning their property. That means the children of Rio and Medio were disturbing the Americans. So therefore, the Americans were feeling a little bit difficulty to spend their life in a peaceful manner. As they could not tolerate this, they came to the office, to the same office, and to the author to tell about the children of Rio and Medio. So after hearing the complaint from the Americans, the author, who was the best friend of the Americans, now it was the responsibility of the author to solve the problems of the Americans, because the author, who was best friend of Americans, he took a responsibility of arranging the agreement of selling and purchasing of land between the old man and the Americans. So therefore, now it was the responsibility of the author to solve the problem. So therefore, what the author did is, author sent a messenger up to the mountains to call Don Anselmo. Now, the author wanted to talk to Don Anselmo. So therefore, the author sent a messenger to bring Don Anselmo to the office. But what happened, you see, it took a week to arrange another meeting. So, author sent the messenger to bring Don Anselmo, the old man of the village Rio en Medio, but it took a week of time for the author to arrange another meeting with the old man. So now the old man came to the office to speak to the Americans. When he arrived, he repeated his previous preliminary performance. When the old man came to the office for second time. So why did he come to office for the second time? Because the author wanted him to come to office. Therefore, he sent a messenger. So therefore, the old man came to the office for the second time. So when he arrived to the office for the second time, he did the same performance. So therefore, the author has mentioned like this. He repeated previous preliminary performance. So what was that performance? As soon as he entered the office, he shook his hands with the officers of the office, removed his hat, gloves, and handed over those things to the old man, the young man who had come with the old man. So therefore, the author has used these words. What did he use? When the old man came to office, when the old man arrived at office, the old man repeated his previous preliminary performance. That means, so for the first time when he came to the office, what he did, same thing was done by the old man in the office for the second time also. So therefore, the author has used these words. And again, you can see about his dress. He wore the same faded cutaway. So again, he wore a coat which was in green color and faded, the same old coat, and brought that torn out stick of umbrella, and again he was accompanied by the young man. So what he did in the first meeting, same thing was done by the old man for the second time in the office. So again he came and shook hands with his hands with the officers and sat in the chair, and the boy stood behind the old man. And now also the old man did not talk about business, okay, but instead of talking about business, he spoke about family, rain, weather. Okay, he did not talk about business immediately as soon as he entered the office. So first he spoke about weather, rain, as well as family. So after this, what happened? Finally, I broached the subject. Now the author started to speak about the business, and the author is speaking to Don Anselmo. So he says like this: Don Anselmo, about the ranch you sold to these people. So the author is telling Don Anselmo that the land which was sold by him to the Americans. So the people had come to office to tell you about something. What is that? They are good people and want to be your good neighbors always. Don Anselmo, the author is saying to Don Anselmo that these Americans are very good people and they want to be your good neighbors. They want to be your good friends. They want to be your good neighbors. Always. Now, when you sold them, you signed a document, a deed, and in that deed, you agreed to several things. Don Anselmo, when you sold your land, at that time you signed a agreement. You signed a deed. In that agreement, in the deed, you have agreed to accept so many conditions, so many things that were written in the agreement. Okay. Now, one thing was that they were to have the complete possession of the property. So, as per as the agreement, as far as the conditions that were mentioned in the agreement in the deed, according to those conditions, that agreement, the deed, now the Americans have complete authority, complete right over the land that you have sold. Now, what happened, you see? Don Anselmo, it seems that every day the children of the village are coming and overrun the orchard and spend most of their time there. So now the Americans are saying that they have a complaint. What is that complaint? They are saying that the children of Rio en Medio, this village, every day they are coming to that land, and what they are doing? They are causing a damage to their property. How they are causing damage to their property? They are, the children of Rio en Medio, they are plucking the flowers. Not only that, they are destroying the orchard, overrunning the orchard, spoiling the plants, trees. Not only that, the children of Rio en Medio, they are spending most of their time there in that land and causing damage, and not only that, they are also disturbing the Americans. So this is what the Americans wants to say you. We would like to know if you, as the most respected man in the village, could not stop them from doing so in order that these people might enjoy their new home more in peace. Now, I am requesting you, I am telling you, the author is saying, so you are the most respected person in this village, because you are the old man of this village. Now we are asking you to stop all the activities of the children, okay, and we are requesting you to ask the children not to cause damage to the property of the Americans, because you are the old man and you can do this. You can ask the children not to disturb them. And now the Americans want to enjoy their new house in a peaceful way, because they want to lead their life peacefully. But the children of Rio en Medio, what they are doing, they are disturbing these Americans again and again, and therefore we are requesting you to ask the children to stop such activities, such things. Now, 9th paragraph. Don Anselmo stood up. We have all learned to love these Americans, he said, because they are good people and good neighbors. I sold them my property because I knew they were very good people, but I did not sell them the trees in the orchard. Now, Don Anselmo, the old man of Rio en Medio, stood up and he told that what he is saying to the author, we have all learned to love these Americans. Of course, the old man says that, of course, we have learned to love the Americans. We have learned to love the Americans. Why? Because they are good people and good neighbors. So the old man, Don Anselmo, is telling that to the author that he has learnt. He has learnt loving the Americans. Why? Because Americans are good people, and not only that, they are the good neighbors. You know about all these things. I sold my property. He said that I have sold my property to these Americans because they are the good people. I know that they are the good people. So therefore, I have sold my property to these Americans. But I did not sell the trees in the land in the orchard. For your kind information, Don Anselmo is telling the author that he has sold the property, but he has not sold the trees in the orchard. The trees in the orchard. So this was the statement that was given by Don Anselmo when he came to office to hear the complaint of the Americans. Now, 10th paragraph. This was bad. Don Anselmo, I pleaded. When one signs a deed and sells a real property, one sells also everything that grows on the land, and those trees, every one of them are on the land and inside the boundaries of what you sold. So the author is speaking to Don Anselmo, the old man of Rio and Medio. Don Anselmo, what you are saying, author requested Don Anselmo that what he said was totally wrong and bad. It was not correct. So what did Don Anselmo say to author when he told about the children? The author said that he has sold the property, land to the Americans, but he didn't sell the trees in the orchard. So therefore, the author is saying Don Anselmo that whatever he has said was totally wrong. It was bad. And the author is saying when one has signed the deed, okay, as far as the deed, as far as the agreement, as far as the conditions, all the property should go to that person who has purchased the land. So everything that is there in the land will go to the person who has purchased the land. So thereby the trees in the orchard, the trees of the land belongs to Americans. So the Americans have complete possession over the land as well as the trees that are there in the orchard, because they are the owners of the land and it is their property. And now you are saying that you have not sold the trees that are there in the orchard. So this is wrong and this is bad. So the author says that whatever that is there inside the boundary, everything that belongs to Americans. So how are you saying that trees are not belonging to the Americans? Now see what Don Anselmo says. Yes, I admit that, he said. You know, he added, I am the oldest man in the village. So Don Anselmo, the author, says that yes, whatever you told is right, correct. I agree with you. And not only that, he said that he was the oldest man of the village, in the village. And therefore, almost everyone there is my relative, and all the children of Rio and Medio are my sobrinos and nietos, my residents. So what the old man is saying, as I am the oldest man of this village, the people who are in Rio and Medio are my relatives. All the people of Rio and Medio are my relatives, and all the children of Rio and Medio are my sobrinos and nietos, and they are my descendants. So here the meaning of sobrinos and nietos means in Spanish language niece and nephews, niece and nephews. And descendants are nothing but a group of people related to a family that existed long ago. So according to author, the children of Rio and Medio are his grandchildren, as they are the nephews and niece and nephews. So therefore, all the children of Rio and Medio are the children of his relatives, his grandchildren. And not only that, he says like this: every time a child has been born in Rio and Medio, since I took possession of the house from my mother, I have planted a tree for that child. So now the old man says that as soon as he took the possession of his house, that means responsibility of his house from his mother. So from then onwards, every time when a child is born, so for that child, the old man, Don Anselmo, has planted a plant, has grown a plant, grown a tree. So he says that he has planted a tree for the child. So what he wants to say that every time if a new child is born in that village, so for that child he was growing a plant, he was planting a tree. Okay, the trees in that orchard are not mine. So as I planted a tree for every child, okay, so therefore the trees that are in the orchard are not mine. They are not mine. All those trees belongs to the children of Rio and Medio. So therefore, I have sold the property, I have sold the orchard, but I did not sell the trees that are there in the orchard, because I don't have any right on the trees, because they are not mine. All those trees belongs to the children. Now it was a difficult task for the author and the Americans. Let us see what they are going to do now. 12th paragraph. There was nothing we could do. Legally we owned the trees, but the old man had been so generous, refusing what amounted a fortune for him. It took most of the following winter to buy the trees individually. So when the old man said that the trees of the orchard doesn't belong to him, so there was nothing left for the author and Americans to do. So therefore they kept quiet, and legally they bought each and every, they bought each and every tree from the children of Rio and Medio, because the old man was very generous. In what way the old man was very generous? Though his land was double, it was not 8 acres, it was double, that means it was 16 acres. And when the Americans came to know that the land of the old man was more than what he said, that means he told that his land was 8 acres. When it was surveyed, when it was measured, it was double. That means it was 16 acres. So therefore, the Americans were ready to pay extra money, additional money. So instead of $1,200, they were ready to pay twice the $1,200. So that means they were ready to pay $2,400 for 16 acres of land to old man. But the old man stuck to his words. So what he said, he followed. So once he told that he was ready to sell his land for $1,200. So that was the final price, and therefore he didn't take extra money from the Americans for extra land. This shows that the old man of Rio and Medio was very honest. Very honest. And not only that, he stuck to his words. So therefore, in that way, the old man was very generous because he did not collect extra money or additional money for extra land. So this was felt by the Americans. So therefore, now Americans, what they did is, instead of lodging complaint against him in the courts or in the police station, so what did they do? They purchased the tree. They purchased the trees from all the children. So it took more time for them to purchase the trees. So by winter, they were able to purchase all the trees individually from each and every child of Rio and Medio. So they purchased all the trees from the descendants, from the grandchildren of Don Anselmo of Rio and Medio. So in this way, the Americans purchased their property. Now, the question is, who are good? Whether the old man is good or the Americans are good? Of course, what I want to say is, both are good. The old man was also good and the Americans are also good. Because the old man did not cause any damage to the Americans, and even Americans did not cause any damage to the old man. The old man was generous towards the Americans, and even Americans were also generous towards the old man. In what way they were generous towards old man? They purchased the land from his descendants, his grandchildren. So therefore, it is not possible for us to tell that who is good. Okay, who is good? Both are good. Americans are also good. Even the old man, Don Anselmo, is also good. So such good attitudes we have to develop in our life. We should be honest. We should be honest. We should not cause any kind of damage to anybody. We should not speak the words of hurting to others. So in this way, we have to develop a good attitude, good qualities, noble qualities, moral values. Moral values. So children, from this lesson, what we can learn? We can learn a message. What is that message? Being human beings, we should develop good qualities. We need to develop good qualities. So just like the old man of the village, Rio and Medio, as well as just like the Americans, we should develop all good, noble qualities. We need to live a simple life, and not only that, we should take care of our family members also. As the old man took care of his family members, that means he took care of his grandchildren. In the same way, every one of us should take care about our family members, and we need to express our love, affection towards our family members, our relatives, as well as we should have same kind of attitude towards our neighbors also. So this is all about the lesson, Gentleman of Rio and Medio. I hope that all of you have understood the lesson. Okay? Thank you children. Thanks a lot.